Hey everyone, this is the Movie Maniac. Thank you for watching. Hello to new and returning subscribers. Today, this is going to be a discussion video on a big issue in the motion picture industry, and that is Warner Brothers releasing its 2021 films to HBO Max the same day as they hit theaters. I mean, that's pretty much the rundown, but for those of you who don't know, this does include major titles like Matrix 4, Godzilla vs. Kong, Mortal Kombat, and this is going to be a big disruptor. What I've seen from my browsing of the internet, the big reactions are pretty much broken into two camps as usual. There are those who believe that all theaters are bad and they got what's coming to them. And this has been a long time coming, and they deserve this. Their ticket prices are too high, concessions are just ridiculously expensive, and that the audience members are just trash and they're ruining the experience. The other side of this are the theater enthusiasts who think, hey, you're going to destroy the movie going experience. There aren't going to be any theaters left. Whatever my position, I'm going to give that to you straight, and I'm going to make my case from that. So when I tell you that where I'm coming from is that this is a little bit more complicated than that, and I actually think that both sides do make some good points, that you know I mean it. There has been a real issue with theaters not controlling their audience members, letting them talk throughout the entire film, be rude as hell, sit on their cell phones, the blindingly bright cell phones, and it just takes away from the magic of sitting in that big comfy seat on that screen in that darkened room, and it takes away from that. At the same time, I do believe that there's so much magic in going to a movie and sharing that experience with family and friends and maybe a date, and having that experience where, you know, sitting down watching a movie in that kind of controlled environment. It's like a shared dream, and I think it would be a real shame to take that away. Now, from Warner Brothers' perspective, I think this is brilliant, and it's an innovative move. It's definitely going to please the shareholders, and I think that this is a smart business strategy. But I do think that it's a little bit of a ruthless move in regard to theater chains. Now, if you were to wave a magic wand and put the Movie Maniac in charge, I would like to think that I would take a look at this short and long term. And if these are the decisions, that let's say that this is something Warner really wants to do, I would probably step in and say that we need to compromise and have a 14-day window. 2 weeks is not a long time, but it might just be long enough for those theater chains. And that's a big difference between a 2-week window and the day of release. You can just sit at home and watch it. I also believe we could see this whole thing completely renegotiated. Now, that would be weird because they've already released basically advertisements and almost a trailer for how this is going to play out. And it seems like they're really sticking with this day of HBO Max and theatrical release strategy that they're implementing. But if theaters rally against this, I mean, look, Warner, they have some really big titles, and they can definitely have some degree of leverage as we're witnessing right now, but they're not Disney. This isn't Disney Plus, and what they're trying to do by throwing, I mean, there must be at least $1 to $2 billion in these films, if I had to guess. So they're throwing everything at this streaming service in hopes that they could be a potential real rival moving forward. And this, again, it's a big risk, but it's not a bad risk. And it's, again, from a business perspective, it's actually pretty intelligent. I just think that it could also be a little careless as it plays out. I don't think you need to burn theaters in order to have a fantastic service. But a 14-day window, I think, would solve a lot of this quickly. I'm sure that AMC and Regal and Cinemark and a lot of these other chains would come out and say 14 days isn't enough. Sure, but it's something, especially those people that want to rush out and see it right away. And keep in mind, Warner would still make a lot of money off of this. And people would want to go to IMAX screens, maybe Dolby Cinema, these upgraded theatrical experiences like RPX, that they can't really get at home, but you can get in the cinema. So I think that that's how I would approach this. But I will tell you, just, hang tight. I don't think this is the end. We haven't seen what the other studios are planning on doing yet. That's going to be a big deal. I'm not saying that you have to agree 100% with what I'm saying. I don't agree 100% with what these two polar opposites are saying. They are giving us some insights into what people want. I'm excited for these movies. I'm dying to see Matrix 4. I can't wait to see Godzilla vs. Kong. I've been waiting for an awesome Mortal Kombat movie since the original. And yes, I enjoy the hell out of that original Mortal Kombat film. And there's other movies on the lineup too, like even some of the ones that don't look that great look enjoyable enough. And yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, there's so much coming out. I'm stoked for a new Dune movie. I mean, I don't think it's going to make as much money as they predict unless there's something behind it like insane Oscar buzz, or it just ends up being one of the best films of the coming decade and it just blows everyone's minds. I'm excited for Dune. I don't know how they're going to make their money back on it, but I'm just first in line to see it. So there's a lot going on here. This is why it catches my attention, and it's caught your attention, I'm sure, as well. If these were titles that nobody cared about, this wouldn't mean anything. But it does mean something. It's part of the big reaction AMC has had. You can go read about how they had some very strong disagreements with Warner on this. You can tell that's why Warner's taking this risk, because there's so much reward for them if this works out. This is really getting a big reaction out of a lot of people in the film community, and rightfully so, because we've never seen anything like this. If we had, and this wouldn't be trending and making waves and getting all these big responses and reactions from people. It's happening, and business leaders and everyone. I mean, everyone is really, it's going to affect the landscape in a way that we've never seen. Because the whole idea is that theaters were going to come back in 2021. This is going to make it a lot more challenging in the eyes of the theater chains. So, sound off below. Many of you out there already know the drill, but for those who don't, make sure to smash that notification bell. Like, comment, and subscribe so you can stay inside the mind of a movie maniac.